is my review of the Megadeth album Rust in Peace. It was released in 1990 and produced by Dave Mustaine and Mike Klink. So this album, I remember getting it, but I don't remember like exactly when it was. I was hanging out with my brother and like 5 other friends or something like that, and we went to Walmart and we're just kind of looking at CDs, and I picked this up. Then we went back to one of my friends' houses, and we were like all hanging out down in the basement, and it was like one of those things where there was like a few conversations going on at once. And one of my friends asked to look at the CD, so he like takes it and he pulls out the book and he's like going through it and reading it and stuff. And in the meantime, I'm talking to the guy whose basement it was, and he was like on the computer, and he starts trying to get me to watch this like really gross video. That was I'm not gonna like mention what it was, but it was pretty gross. And about halfway through, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch any more of this. And the other guy who has the CD and the book is like, I'm gonna burn this. Burn the booklet if you don't watch the rest of that. And so like they're trying to force me to watch this video, and like I watched a little bit more, and about halfway through I'm like, you know what, just burn it. And so they didn't end up doing that, but I just thought that was a funny story to kind of go along with when I got this. So I've always liked this album quite a bit. Used to listen to it like driving a lot. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite. I think it's pretty close. Between like this and Peace Sells. I mean, you'll have to wait for the ranking to see what I end up going with. But this album, you have another major lineup change here. You have Marty Friedman coming in on guitar, replacing, I think it was Jeff Young, and Nick Menzer replacing Chuck Baylor on drums. And so that makes a really major change in the sound, especially bringing Marty Friedman in. I noticed like going through and looking at like who plays the solos on here, like I didn't exactly like go and compare it with the albums before, but it just seemed like from what I remembered from doing the previous reviews that it looks like Marty Friedman plays more guitar solos on here than some of the other guitarists had. So I think like bringing him in was like a huge deal. And this album just like, it seems to me that this is like where they started getting a little more like commercial. I don't mean that like in a bad sense. But a lot of these songs are just catchier than the songs that came on the albums before. They're a little bit more like, I don't know, constructed in a way where they're easier to digest, I feel like. Like I was saying in some of the previous reviews, a lot of those songs seemed like they were kind of built around the instrumental stuff rather than any of the vocal stuff or having any like melodic hooks in like the vocal. And it seems here like they kind of just got a little more commercial, a little more catchy. And I think that's kind of to the benefit of the album. The album opens with Holy Wars, which I think is a great opener. Really cool intro to it. I love how the drums kind of play with the guitars on that. I think Dave's vocal is really good. One of my favorite songs on here, and it's got like the cool kind of like part where it like kind of breaks down to this like Middle Eastern sounding music. I think it's really cool. So yeah, that one I think I knew going into this album already, and it's always been one of my favorites. Second track, Hangar 18, probably my favorite song on the album, which I know is kind of a cheap choice because a lot of people really like this song, but I mean it's great. Just the riff's great. It's a really catchy, memorable song. Dave has a great vocal. Love all the solos from Marty Friedman on it and all the instrumental stuff. Just a great track. The third track, Take No Prisoners. This was the one that kind of had to grow on me the most, and it really is just because like one part of it. But now I like this one a lot. I like all the guitars. I like the bass and the drums and stuff. All the instrumental stuff on this album is great. The part of this song that kind of made me not like it was in the end when it's like, take no prisoners, take no shit. I just found that kind of cheesy for some reason the first couple times I listened to it, but it doesn't really like bother me anymore. So I'd say that this was the song on the album that it took me the longest to like warm to. The fourth track, Five Magics, kind of like when it starts, they're kind of like freaking out instrumentally, and then it goes into this kind of like slower, kind of like darker sounding section that lasts until like the vocals start, and I really like that part. I like when the vocals go too. There's this one part where Dave like says a line and then kind of repeats it in this creepy voice, and I like that bit. Not really like my favorite song on the album, but I like it a lot. The fifth track, Poison Was the Cure, has a cool intro. It's a really kind of fast song. This one is the song on the album that reminds me of the most of the stuff they were doing on previous albums. Sixth track, Lucretia, has music by written by Dave and Dave Ellefson. So you get some more co-writes in the like later half of this album. It's got the like creepy laugh at the beginning, which is cool. I don't like know what the song's about. I heard somebody say it's about a ghost in Dave's attic or something. But I like Dave's vocal a lot on it. I like all the instrumental stuff. That's always been kind of a minor highlight to me. Seventh track, Tornado of Souls. This one has lyrical contributions from Dave Ellefson. And this was one that like didn't stand out a lot to me before, but it's become kind of one of my favorites on the album. Just really catchy, kind of memorable vocal part. All the instrumental stuff is really cool. I like the guitar solos a lot. Eighth track, Dawn Patrol. It's kind of a really like short thing, but I think it's really cool. It's, music's by Dave Ellefson, with words by Dave Mustaine. It's got this like cool, creepy bass part that kind of goes throughout it, and Dave does this weird, almost like Britishy, creepy voice. And yeah, it's short, but I really like that. And then the ninth and final track, Rest in Peace. Not a lot to say about it, but another one of my favorites on here. Just a great way to close the album, great title track. Dave's vocals really cool. I like the lyrics. All the instrumental stuff's great. So not a lot to say about this album as a whole, but like, or like the individual tracks on it. But I really like all these songs. They're all really cool instrumentally. I like all the vocals, and like I said, they're getting catchier, more memorable with their songs. It's almost like, I don't know, like when I was talking about the album Peace Sells. It's like the song Peace Sells stands out compared to the other songs just because the way it's written. It's like, oh, this could be a hit, it seems like. And that's kind of how this album is, where like more songs start to resemble that, and like more of these songs, it's like, okay, I could see this being like played on the radio. The bonus tracks on this album, you have My Creation, which was co-written with Nick Menza, the drummer, and Dave Mustaine. It's pretty cool. And then you have some alternate takes of the songs, which have Chris Poland on guitar, so that's pretty cool to hear what it would have sounded like if he had played on it. So yeah, Rest in Peace, one of their best albums. I would say this is probably a good place to start if you're trying to get into them, because there's really not a bad song on this album. And yeah, really, really great album, and I highly recommend it.